Good day and welcome to the 30th session of the Aviation Wealth Club. And wouldn't you know it that it's happened on the 30th of September 2025. Welcome. We are at the end of quarter 3 of the year. So we are heading into the last quarter of the year. The last quarter of the year often cut short by the December holidays. So in my mind, I've actually already been 3 months to the end of 2025 because I'm going on leave promptly on the 14th of December. So taking a nice long one for myself. I don't know about you guys.
We're also closing on the 15th, the flight school and everything.
Beautiful. All right, just a reminder, the 3 pillars of the Aviation Wealth Club: exclusive events. We've got business acceleration, usually from Rob Yates. Today it's going to be from yours truly, David LaRue. Rob Yates has been on an immense miracles speaking tour for his Kingdompreneur company, and that is going absolutely well for him. He seems to be signing up hundreds of members and doing absolutely well. And obviously these kinds of tours that he's doing and promoting the business for himself is going absolutely well. So he's just a bit broken from all of that. So we decided to give him the day off, and I'm going to be stepping in. That's the value and awesome advantage of having a good business partner like me. We also talk about niche investments within the Aviation Wealth Club, and what we talk about there is more like not just your run-of-the-mill stuff like normal RAs and unit trust investments, but how can we use the different platforms and packages and those kinds of things we have in South Africa and globally to be able to generate much more wealth than ordinarily available to you guys. Hey, welcome, Francois. Good to see you in the room. Just a reminder, every year we obviously our membership to the Aviation Wealth Club is an annual one. We've got a minuscule amount of money compared to the value stack that everybody gets during the year in terms of all the different vouchers that we get and the training and the coaching and the events that we go to. All that kind of stuff all adds up to at least 380,000 Rand per year. And so yeah, that's good. Why don't you guys share with us your recent wins? Who's got a big win for the last 7 days with us?
Well, mine probably goes back slightly more than 7 days, but any case, yeah, it was a good trip to the States. Yeah, went well with the training and so on. Came, tested, all went well. Yesterday we added the Falcon to my license, and if all goes well, then hopefully sometime this week we'll do the base check on the area as well. And when was in the office yesterday just to go through company flows and so on, because everything was now done on the flight school's SOPs. So did some stuff with the company yesterday, and it was quite a good experience. Hence also why I was MIA, and then last week I brought back some of the other man flu from the States as well. So I'm still was a bit seriously man down. But anyways,
congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations. Another area on the license. Nothing wrong with that. Just makes you even more valuable as a pilot. Well done.
Well, thanks, guys.
Nice. Who else has got a win for us?
Yeah, I for our market base opening, I think I mentioned that I had a meeting with Jock Collis. We did him a proposal, for market and the Indian flight school. So on Friday morning last week, he accepted our offer. So he's becoming a shareholder and a partner / brand ambassador for our flight school in Margate, as well as the one that we're planning to open in India. So I'm business partner officially now. I'm busy drafting the final agreement contract, what we expect from him and whatever. But so he's accepted the offer.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah, you're gonna have to invite him to some of our events, and hopefully we'll all get to meet him.
Yeah, so part of his deal is corporate events are the face of our company, setting, also liaising with investors, it's just that credibility that he brings. Yeah, so he'll definitely be involved in our business. I'm sure that will be easy to organize, to bring him to one of our events. As he's gonna start his PPL as well with us, yeah.
Of course. Excellent,
I was
excellent.
just about to ask, does he fly?
No, he doesn't fly. His wife's his brother-in-law is a helicopter pilot, he says, but he would love to do his PPL. So yeah, he's gonna I'm not sure when, one of these days he's coming up here to our flight school in Secunda. But yeah, we'll just have to determine where he's gonna do his training, here in Secunda or perhaps Margate. Yeah, he's quite often here in Gauteng, but yeah, it's between one of these two bases. He's gonna start now with his PPL as well.
I'll have to fly him from Joburg to Secunda, test my bath bag on him because it's already been tested on David.
Great, yeah, it sounds like a plan.
Nice. And then obviously we'll have to check his insurance to make sure that covers him for flying,
We've got you, Jacques. Don't worry, eh?
I love it. Nice. All right. Okay, who's got another win for us? Tell us. Francois? Did I lose you?
Morning, guys. Hope you're well. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've done some business in Hoedspruit last week. So yeah, that was a first for me. And yeah, going very well. It rained and we're happy and very busy. So yeah, going very well. And yeah, Eugene, well done on that conversion, man. That's a great one.
Bye, dankie.
Yeah, and Christoph, well done to you, man. That was also very great.
Beautiful achievement. I love it. I love it. And well done, Francois. Well, how about you, JJ? What did you win at?
So you know how nothing happens and then everything happens. So
no, that's never happened to me. I space everything out in my life exactly evenly, so
and
that
it stays to
time
plan
for everything. So yeah, no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we've got the hotel chain, which I'm meeting with tomorrow, and it looks like we're going to do a whole lot of IT stuff for them, and it might not just end there. They've got some hotels into Africa, so we'll then possibly supply IT hardware to them. So that's a great win. And another contract we've been working on for about a year, which seems to be coming together, and if all goes well, we'll sign it on the 1st of December.
Absolutely fantastic, JJ. Expansion into Africa I think, should be everybody's focus. Obviously, not everyone can focus on the same thing at the same time, but it should definitely be on the radar. Expansion into Africa, I think, is the greatest opportunity that lies ahead for us. Is the potential market north of our borders.
And David's win.
My win for the week is I've got two. I had an exceptionally good month last month, so yeah, we can all go for milkshakes when I see you guys again. And so yeah, it was just like a really good month. Thank you. And things are lining up for a very good, couple of months to the end of the year. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then my second win is yesterday my son and I have been going to the gym for the last in fact for the whole year, and so we finally found the machine that can measure like your weight and your body fat percentage and all that sort of stuff. And we did our measurements at the beginning of September, and then we did our measurements yesterday again for the end of September. And my son put on, I think, 1 kilogram of lean muscle, and obviously reduced his body fat percentage, and and lost a little bit of weight, and he grew, which is a nice advantage in terms of height. He grew, so he did really well. And then all the work that I've been doing, I also put on about 600 grams of lean muscle, lost a kilogram and a kilo and a half. And unfortunately, I didn't grow any taller. I think I've reached my limit there. But all very good health wise. So nice results in the gym, which is awesome for us. I just thought I'd share that personal win for a change. Very nice. Good. How about you, Theo? Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. Just had to go drop the kids. So I think a big win for Captain Circle is that we're going to start the 7-day boot camp. The 7-day boot camp, because it's shorter and more compact and just easier for everyone that joins it. And we're starting it in a few days, I think 2 days. And I'm really excited for that. I think I can count that as a win, because there's a lot of people that's in line for that.
Good job, Theo. Well done. Well done. You're in France, changing the way the financial landscape for commercial pilots looks out there. Congratulations.
Thank you, David.
Very nice. All right. Tell us a little bit of an update for some events. This weekend, speed rally finale at the Heidelberg airfield was a great success. There were a couple of safety concerns going into it that I had to manage, and luckily I was able to put everyone on a central platform and to make sure that everyone was talking to each other. We had about 4 or 5 different people organizing different aviation elements to the great train race and the normal festival and things that goes on there. Long story, it didn't actually happen at the airfield. It was happening at the train station rather than different to the way it used to happen. Anyway, so there was quite a little bit of coordination that needed to happen, and I suppose I could count that as a win, is that I basically took charge and coordinated all of the guys to make sure that there was no meeting of the aircraft in the air, so they tend to not like that very much. And so but either way, we had a fantastic speed rally finale event. We crowned Sean Cronin and Dean the overall championship winners. We had a great Jabiru challenge. In fact, there were 4 Jabiroos that took part and a couple of slings as well, and we put them head to head. The Jabiroos came out on top, so well done, and good job to everyone involved there. Next week we are going to not have a session here. We are going to be live in person at the Culinary Table restaurant at near Lanseria for the CEO breakfast. So I hope you've all registered. We are going to be meeting there in person and basically participating in their program. You can see that it starts at 7. Well, there's a registration table at 7, starts at 8 o'clock. We network from 9 to 10. Keynote speeches between 8 and 9. That does say that. 8 to 9, and then networking from 9 to 10. Okay, so similar timing to what we do here, but I think there's going to be a good opportunity for us to meet a whole bunch of other aviation-related CEOs in the industry. So if you haven't registered yet, I'm going to pop the link in the chat just now. But I look forward to seeing you all there. Okay. Then just a quick update. We've added another event to the calendar. City of Tshwane and Vonderboom Airport came to us and asked us if we could put together an air navigation rally. So not really a race, a more very chilled navigational rally exercise that we can do. We're celebrating Tshwane Transport Month with them, and we're inviting all the flight schools and all the pilots. You guys are obviously all invited. In fact, Christoph, we would love to have you guys come and put up a gazebo there from Aviation Junction. A couple of your students and a couple of your instructors may be going and participating in the flight school challenge for the air navigation rally challenge. If you'd like to come, I'll send you all those details. Okay. All pilots here, please come along. There's a nice breakfast available and a good time out as well on the Saturday the 18th. Okay. And then just a quick reminder of the Safety Symposium in Cape Town happening on Thursday the 6th of November. All Aviation Wealth Club members have a 50% discount on the sponsorship packages that we have available. I'll share those with you guys shortly as well. And then of course, there's the Wonderboom Safety Symposium, Thursday, the 2nd of December. Sorry, that's Tuesday, the 2nd of December on the 2025. And that's at Wonderboom at the Villa San Giovanni restaurant. This will be the third Wonderboom Safety Symposium. All the others have been absolutely huge successes, and we've got some really good speakers and awesome prizes and great sponsors. So I look forward to all of that with you guys. Right. Who's going to tell us why they showed up today? Is everybody there?
I haven't been here for a while, so that's why I joined today. Yeah, I'm trying, and it seems like for some reason something is against me. Every Tuesday seems to be getting my busiest day of the week, but I'm working on that. Like we discussed the other day, is that I must just get my people sorted out, that I don't need to be at work, and then I can do all these nice things and don't stress about what's that, you know, that everything is running. So, but yeah, we'll get there. But working on that.
100%, Christoph. And it's actually largely what we spoke about last week here was getting your company to a position where you have to do less and less of the day-to-day stuff and more only of the looking at the horizon and guiding the ship, so to speak, and having less of that time take it up by nitty-gritties. But it takes time to get there, unfortunately, and it's all part of the journey. So yeah, lekker. Lovely. Welcome, France. Good to see you.
Hello, Dolly. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, the Aviation Wealth Club is an annual membership, and all of our members' renewals, all of your guys' renewals will be falling due next year, all at your different times of when you actually joined. So I'd like us to start opening those conversations between myself and you guys and seeing how better we can make this. How we can make this journey in the Aviation Wealth Club better for you, even better for next year and the following years and all those kinds of things. So I want to use this as an opportunity for us to share ideas, not now, but I want to book time individually with all of you for us to share ideas on how to really improve the offering that we've already given, and to see if we can make it even better for you guys. All right. So just keep in mind that is happening, and we'll all be focused on it in the coming months. Okay. Good stuff. Today we are talking about, the Rob Jonker is obviously not here today. David Leroux is going to be offering the business acceleration session this morning, the flight deck briefing, and we are all going to be learning powerful practical lessons, scaling our business through leadership, and all leading to revenue growth and more opportunities for people and ourselves, obviously. We were following the $100 million offers book, and largely what we were focused on and what the whole book really is centered around is this dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay times your effort and sacrifice is what the value is perceived by the customer. This is the value equation. And I think if everybody can remember, we spoke about dream outcomes. What is the ridiculous or ludicrous outcome that your client would love to have, your potential clients? And it's not what we do as a service. It's not that we, teach them to fly. It's not that we fly their aircraft for them. It's not that we sell them a computer or sign them up for a Microsoft license. It's not that we just give them seed and stuff. The dream outcome is the ultimate goal of why those people are actually in business. Selling a policy for me is one thing, but that's only part of the journey. I need to be able to ensure that not only is that policy good, but it achieves the dream outcome of leaving the legacy that it's supposed to, putting those investments in place that it's supposed to, all those different things that it works. So that, and then not just taking what we know is in our box, but let's reach further. And what is that ludicrously amazing dream outcome? So we dealt with that already. And then if we say, if we take those ludicrous dream outcomes, how do we make them valuably, or how do we make them perceptively achievable for those people? That was part of the discussion then, right? And I don't think we've dealt too much with the bottom part of this yet, but it's something that we should definitely delve into. But since then, we've been speaking to things like the value equation within, people times value, or people times the dream outcome equals value, and all those things that Rob spoke about. So how does this resonate with the people in this room today? Give me an idea of where you guys are at.
Well, I think ultimately we tend to not measure the time and the effort that we put in. I think we tend to moan about how much time we put into things. I've got a customer that we are trying to reconcile their account because they pay funny amounts, and the back and forth just doesn't make it worthwhile at the end of the day. But instead of complaining about it, we need to work the problem and get a solution. So put the proper time in so that the effort then becomes less.
100%. I think largely about, if you applied this value equation to your own business and to what you do, we need to constantly go back and decide what is our dream outcome and what is our perceived likelihood of achievement. And then to what JJ was talking about, what is that time delay and that effort and sacrifice that we're doing that's really diminishing the total value of this entire value equation. And exactly what you're saying here, the more effort and sacrifice and time that you spend reconciling accounts that shouldn't be paid in the way that they are, because we've given the payment terms to the client already, why they're not doing the right thing, that's causing us, and especially as a CEO of a company, or even the CEO's person that looks after their invoicing, shouldn't be spending time diminishing value because they're taking away from the dream outcome, not only of your company, but of the other people who you serve, your clients. And I think if we look at what we were talking about last week in terms of not doing those things and freeing ourselves up to do more of the really heavy hitting stuff, this is exactly how we do that, is by reducing time delays of what you do and effort and sacrifice of what you do. Everything that you do has to be really within the greater scope of your business.
David, yes, I think, because you know, like in my instance, I started the business and you do everything yourself, or you try to. I think maybe that robs you of time to get new business and attend to customers more. So, maybe just, a little bit less of my effort in certain areas, and just focus on doing the things that are really important and delegate the other things. Easier said than done.
Easier said than done, and I think mainly because we don't think about it in an operational way. And everything can be broken down into the rands and cents and the time. If we break everything down, everything can be broken down into an operation. We can operationalize even how to be a better person, how to be a better husband or a better this. There's because let's say we take that concept of being a better business person. That involves maybe 50 different qualities of a human that a good business person generally has. But let's say somebody lacks 40 of those 50 things and they only have 10. If we identified all 50 of them and then operationally went off and ticked off each one by, let's say, being a better business person means you're a good communicator, you're good at quick maths, you're good at being able to spot opportunities, you're good at all these different things. And if you can then say, well, I'm not that good at spotting opportunities, but then go, okay, well, how do I get better at spotting opportunities? And then even within that, we can then there's podcasts we can listen to, books we can read, there's videos we can watch to be able to say, okay, well, this will make me a better opportunity spotter. And then there's easier ones where we can be a better communicator, we can be a better delegator, or we can be all these things. And each one of those, good business person, but even within each of those micro elements of being a good business person, there's 4 or 5 different things that, again, you can then operationally tick off those boxes. And then by working on those skills, filter through and be able to tick off each one of those 50 things that makes a good business person or a better business person. And so my point there is that we can think about it in a structured, and it doesn't have to be an airy-fairy, very analog or theoretical type way. We can think about it in a very structured digital way. Like there's a spreadsheet behind this that we can go into and tick and cross off and learn. And it's almost like soft skills that people talk about. And if everyone knows what I'm talking about, that's like the I'll get you right now, Christoph. Soft skills are things like tell me, do you need to go?
Yes, sorry man, I'll have to run now again or fly again. Hope you've got a great week, and it was good to check in quickly this morning with you guys again. Next week I'll be checking in from, unfortunately, only from Margate, so I won't be at that event, but hope you guys enjoy it.
Great stuff, Christoph. We'll chat soon. Enjoy.
Keep well, guys. Cheers. Bye.
Enjoy. Yeah.
So if we think about soft skills, what people call soft skills is like having empathy and, being more receptive or being a good listener and all those kinds of things. Those are listed as soft skills. And when we think about soft skills, we don't think of them as those soft skills made up of different hard skills, different actual actionable operational skills that people can have. Being a nice person, and this is just directly from a number of Alex Hormozi's podcasts. He says, people don't like this guy in the company. Why? Because when he walks in the room, he doesn't smile. When he speaks to you, it's like he's not listening. When you speak to him, it's like he's not listening. When you ask him, when you're busy talking, he interrupts you. And so like 4 of those things makes everybody perceive this one person as a bit of a dingbat, a bit of a douchebag. And so if you just spoke to this person and said, listen, maybe smile once in a while every time you enter the room. Maybe don't interrupt someone while they're talking. Maybe actually put your phone down and look this person in the eye and listen to them while they're talking. And so if that person just did 4 of those things on a more regular basis, his whole soft skill of being more perceived as more empathetic and as a better guy or a better person is handled by just ticking those 4 boxes. And so if I bring this whole point around to say, how do we free ourselves up in our business to be able to do the bigger tasks and only focus on the horizontal and 10 years from now decisions and all those types of things, on those really huge big picture type things, is that there's an operational way to get yourself out of the job day-to-day element of your business into that working on your business position. And one of those ways, and I mean, I've got a couple of ideas, but who here can tell me what they think might be an operational way to start freeing yourself up from the day-to-day job business that we might find ourselves in, into the more captain of a ship type position in our businesses? I didn't think JJ would have an answer already. Actually, I did. JJ, go for it.
So I think the key is connecting to last week's session, that business plan. So we need to make the time to sit down and say, all right, where am I? What am I wanting to do? And where do I want to go? And once we start with that, and I almost want to say we need to get out of our own way, because that's mostly, as a small business owner, where the problem starts. We think we can't afford to do something. We can only do it that well. No one else can do it as good, and so forth. And we then have to add the people to that plan, and every 3 to 6 months revisit that plan. And yes, the plan's not necessarily set in stone, but it's a good guideline. And as we go, we chisel around that plan as to where it needs to then go. The idea that we've got when we start with it might not be the end result, but if we mold it like clay every 3 to 6 months, we'll get it to where it needs to be, because we'll go through a journey of learning as well and releasing certain tasks from ourselves to other people.
You said a couple of things there, JJ. You said a business plan. And
Absolutely, yeah.
And you said putting people in place.
Yeah.
And you said revisiting that plan every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
What else did you say? What did I miss?
Revisiting it, putting the people in place, and I think that was the crux of it.
Yeah. So if we've got those 3 points, again, that's a great starting point, but a business plan can mean 50 different things to different people. And putting people in place, we know, is a process that's very challenging because we don't have an operational plan. We don't have like a fixed framework of getting these people in and knowing the type of people that we need to get in and knowing where they fit and all those kinds of things. And then the other one is revisiting it every 3 to 6 months. I'm going to say, with everything that's new that we're starting, 3 to 6 months needs to be condensed into once a week or almost daily. And so I'll start there. JJ, you got a thought?
So what one of my customers do is she takes the Monday off and she works, I would say, on a high level. She doesn't take any calls, doesn't respond to emails, those type of things. Get the business focus right and that type of stuff. Tuesday, come into the office, Tuesday to Friday, works in the business and implement those things that she's done. And then Monday comes again, revisits, what have I done? How did it work? What should I change? And that's a discipline that she started. Initially, it annoyed me because whenever I need a decision, it might be on a Monday and I can't get hold of her. But eventually you realize, but it's not the end of the world. I can still get communication from her on Tuesday, and that's also fine.
1000%. You were your frustration was one of the eggs that got broken to make her omelet.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if we go back, revisiting something on a more regular basis, especially in the beginning, is vital, because we're implementing change. And if you implement change, you need to monitor that change very closely right up front. And it's very much the way that I've seen France work. It's very much the way that I've seen other people work, is that when there's something new and happening now that needs to have a lasting impact, we're going to divert attention from everything else and focus on this thing. I'm going to say almost hyperfixate on this thing and really work on it and fine tune it. So at the expense of ignoring customers, sometimes not ignoring customers, but just delaying responses, ignoring other people and other things that are vital to running your business. But this thing just has to be more important for now, because it's going to have the lasting impact that's going to take you and your business to the next level and beyond. So, and just another quick story is that, like, if you're forming a new team, let's say, you're not going to not micromanage them. You don't want to micromanage a team ever. Okay, ultimately, you don't ever want to micromanage anybody. But in the beginning, you need daily check-ins or hourly check-ins of, what's the team doing? But over a 3-month period, you've seen now that you can reduce your hourly check-in to a daily check-in to a weekly check-in. And then 2 years from now, it can be a monthly check-in. So to just go put a new team in place and then skip to 3 monthly check-ins, there's a big disconnect. So I think for all of us, and this is kind of what I'm saying, is that we need to do a little bit of micromanagement of ourselves and our business to identify where we can then start to let go of certain tasks. So just that's just the point of monitoring ourselves and revisiting the plan on an ongoing basis. And I think that frequency needs to be high frequency in the beginning and then a much lower frequency towards the end, or towards the running of the actual new thing we're putting in place. Another very quick example there is when I started my first couple of teams it was a bit of an evolving thing. One of my mentors at the time said to me, just get copied in on every single email. I thought, that's crazy. And he was like, you just need to do it for like 2 months or a month. Copy that, like, tell them your new team cannot send an email without copying you in. I was like, that is ridiculous. How the heck am I going to do that? But you know what it did? That allowed me to monitor. Like, I didn't read every single email, obviously, but I was able to monitor 1 in 5 of their emails and then just see that was going well. And highlight any issues up ahead. Highlight any issues, way ahead of before it became a problem. And then after a while, I said to them, okay, well, you don't have to copy me in on everything, only on, transactions and this and that and the next thing. So you just kind of cherry pick what you need after that, because now you trust the team and the other people to be able to do what they're doing. So that monitoring process, again, let's have a plan for that monitoring process, not just let's monitor it. And 3 to 6 months. Do you understand? I'm not saying you've done it wrong or you've got the wrong idea, JJ. I'm just saying we need to operationalize that. And then again, the next thing was putting people in place. Let's have a proper plan for putting people in place. Just every now and then posting a job ad, or knowing what the job does, or thinking that the job description might be this or might be that, or, let's see who comes in the door and see how they fit in, and let's see how we can apply them, etc., etc., doesn't work. You need a box to put those people in, and when they come and we meet them, and if we can put them into that box, and I know this sounds like completely opposite to all the thinking that's out there at the moment, but the plan needs to be, the operation needs to be able to put that person in a box, and that person does that thing. If they show potential outside the box, fantastic. That's great. And we need to look for that up ahead when we're putting those people in place. Absolutely. But for the job that needs to be done based on the plan that we're going to do, I'm doing this in a reverse order, but that person needs to fit into that box 100%. And before we hire them, we need to know that. And so that's why sometimes the hiring process can be drawn out a little bit to be able to find the right person that fits that box 100%.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when you're putting the plan together, that's the requirement of the job that you need to be able to free up your time to give that particular job to someone else. So you don't want them to do anything else. If they do more than that later on, that's fine. But you need that particular requirement met.
You can't be spending half your time doing the other half of this person's box that he's not doing, that he or she isn't doing. That's completely the opposite of what we're trying to achieve.
Or having to monitor that they keep doing what you're needing them to do. If they keep spending time on other stuff, then there's no point.
Yeah. So putting those people in place needs to be a proper operationalized plan. And it needs to be thought about, it needs to be written down, it needs to be communicated and implemented as a plan, an operational plan. It's not just part of a plan where it's like one line item, employ people, business plan, employ people. Okay, cool. That can just go so badly. So that whole employ people line item on the business plan needs to be well thought out and properly structured. And again, split into as many points as it takes, even if it's 50 points that says this person needs to have brown hair, blue eyes, all those different things. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. Needs to be a nice person, blah, 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 all those different things needs to be written down and properly communicated.
Dave?
Yeah.
I think it's very often overcomplicated with people who just want to talk for the sake of talking, right? Like everywhere. And I think it's as simple as, you know what you want to do with your business, you know where you want to go, you've taken the time to figure out all the cogs in the machine, so like what's going to get you there, and you know how much time you have. And then I think the most important thing out of everything is what kind of stuff, what do you like doing, right? Like, fuck, it's your own business, man. Like, you can decide what you want to do or not. So like what do you actually like doing? Okay, and how can you only do that? And like, who do you need to fill in the gaps of the other stuff? And then, cool, we need these 5 things done. How many people do we need to do that? We need 10 people. Okay, sweet. These 10 people, you just find those 10 people. And different industries are different. I mean, our industry is close to impossible to find people because we're so hyper niched. But it's not the norm. You know, there's lots of industries and hundreds of people with the experience, with the qualifications, that's willing to work for that kind of money. It's not hard to find people to fulfill those functions, right? So I don't know. I think it gets overcomplicated. And an idea I wanted to swing in the room is like, use the kids, man. Like, there are there's more 18 to 21-year-olds out there keen and raring to go with all the fresh ideas. I mean, think of when you were 18 to 21-year-olds. Yeah, you were stupid. Like, you really didn't know anything about how the world works. But you were full of optimism and opium and thought you could change the world and, you know, thought everything was easy and a breeze. So get some of the kids involved, you know. Like in that team of 8, you know, in that team of 10, get 8 people with experience and get 2 youngsters, you know, that's willing to basically work for the experience and the practice in business and whatever. And I think there we fill a lot of gaps, and because it's young minds, they haven't been molded, they haven't been whatever, it can then also fill a lot of the mundane stuff that you don't want to be doing. You can give it to them at like a ad hoc basis. So I don't know. I think all this stuff is way overcomplicated. I don't think it's that complicated at all. If you know where you're going, what you need to do to get there, I don't think finding the people filling that holes is hard.
Okay. 100%. I agree with you. And it isn't a complicated thing. It's just what I'm trying to say is that we are operationalizing it so that it becomes easier. For a lot of us, you know, yes, you, France, might have the idea, okay, I need to do this, and I know what time horizon I have, and, you know, all of that stuff. And for a lot of us, sure, those ideas are hard and fast in our mind. But what I'm trying to say is, like, why are most businesses not doing that? Is because those ideas are just ideas, and there's no first 3 steps that those people can take to be able to easily identify what kind of people we need, where we need to get them from, and how to make and design those places where those people need to be.
Yeah, okay, but then you're talking about a framework. So you're talking about building the framework for that specific business.
Yeah.
And the framework stuff is really cool. I mean, 3 of the biggest, like Alex is one of them, but 3 of the biggest names in the, let's say, small, medium-sized growth mindset business leadership space is all about frameworks at the moment. I mean, that's like kind of a bit of the buzzword. So I would actually, you know, if you guys just go Google business frameworks, or YouTube it, I think. And there's a lot of really cool content. Most of the stuff's obviously like America guys, so it doesn't exactly fit the mold for us. But that might be that might be a really good session, is getting some data on frameworks and discussing that. I think that'll be probably really valuable.
100%. Thanks, France. Absolutely. And so, yeah, hiring the people is a big step, and it's a big thing, and it's a scary thing for a lot of us to do. And I think France has got a great point in, you know, using and abusing the 21-year-olds. Hey, Theo. Not abusing, you know what I mean, but actually taking advantage of the energy that they have, and they want to be able to contribute in a meaningful way. And we'll be surprised, you know, my 14-year-olds and my 14-year-old and my 11-year-old have quite a few insights that surprise me on a day-to-day basis. So even if they're picking up some stuff that surprises me on a day-to-day basis, I mean, imagine what the 21-year-olds and the other Gen Zs are looking at, and what they can offer. Again, they've got lots of energy. They can move quickly. Theo, tell us a little bit more about you and your last couple of months into the business world here, and specifically, you know, with what you're doing in the Captain Circle and Pilot Insure.
Okay, so Franz has a very, very good point there, and there's a lot of people my age that just they want to learn, and I'm still very young. I just finished school last year, and I went to France and I just asked them, well, I just want to learn by you. Can we make that a possibility? And he said, yeah, let's get you learning how business works, so that you can build your own business one day, or just know how everything works. And the first few months was really scary, really a lot of very overwhelming. But I think now that I have a good grasp on this captain circle, it is extremely fun to work in the business industry and see just how great it is, and how big opportunity I have, and there's a lot of people my age that want to do it, and then they 2-3 weeks into it and then they leave it because it's just too scary, and it's sad, because it's such a good opportunity, but I think if you get the right person, it can just help you, and help them be a better person in the long run.
Absolutely right. Another example is in Rob's business, Kingdompreneur. He's also got a guy called, I can't remember his name, but also like a fresh out of school character doing all his video editing. And he's completely self-taught, but because he's young and he's been making videos on Instagram and TikTok for the last 5 years already, he's got an amazing grasp of that kind of thing. And I think Theo's got the same type of thing with some graphic design stuff that I've seen him do that blows my mind. It's like, wow, how did he do that? Takes me.
Stop it, David. Stop.
I'm still on Paint and PowerPoint, and still trying to figure my way around there. So no, but I think France and Theo have got a point there. JJ, you've hired some young people. Tell us how that went.
Yeah, so we've recently, during the school holidays, had a young lady, and it's very few and far between that you get young ladies that want to be involved in IT. And she came to spend some time with us, and she was brilliant. She learned very, very quickly. And this is stuff that she's not used to doing, because they tend to, when they're learning programming. And here we're doing desktop support, real world stuff. But we partner them up with one of our technicians, and they shadow, and then we give them stuff to do, which even if they get it wrong, it can't break anything, like reloading a laptop. We'll make sure that it's properly backed up by one of the technicians first. We'll show them the process, but now we've secured the data. And then the next step is to give them the machine. Here's the process. Try it. There's the steps. And if you don't get it right, ask. And if you do it wrong, we're not harming anyone. And that's how they learn. So you're taking that fear factor out of the way, and I think that's the key. But don't stop trying. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you can hire for attitude and train for skills. So remember that, and that's across young people and old people. We've seen people that look like they've got the skills to do the job, but when it comes to it, they don't have the attitude and the same sort of culture fit that you need in your business. So I think just more to that point is, and to continue the story, is that be creative in your selection process, hire slow, and be able to, so that you don't have to fire fast. Do you know what I mean? Does that resonate with anybody? Just to think about who we're putting in place. Rather take your time and interview a couple more people and look around in a more creative way to find the right people to fit into the business plan.
I'm actually at the point in my life where I'm completely the opposite.
Okay.
Because it's impossible to know, right? Like, you can't know. You can have 10 interviews with someone. You can't know how they're going to operate in the business a month in. Like, I haven't found that to be the case at all, So I'm actually at a point where I'm like, I want whatever next big hire I'm making, I'm gonna make sure it's cash flow stuff and everything is right for it, obviously. But I want to like hire 3 people for the same job at the same time, make it a fucking competition, and say after 1 month I'm cutting one, and month 3 we're cutting the other one. Like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, I don't know if it's legal or not. Like, if we were in the States, I'd do it like every single day.
I think if you put the terms and conditions right up front, then I don't see why not, and especially if you hire them as a consultant outside, there's definitely ways to do that. And again, that's another creative way of attracting the right talent.
Yeah, man, because I also feel like the person who the people who kind of on the fence, they won't take that job, right? They're like, no, there's competition within competition, but they won't do it. Like, I think let's say 3 people who end up like accepting it, knowing this is what's going on, you most probably already going to have the person with the correct attitude, like for business, right? Because business is competitive. Like, we can say whatever we want to, downplay as much of it. We are competing every single day. Like right now, I'm on my way driving to meet a client. I know that he's got the local Pokololo broker whispering in his ear, right? So I'm going in there knowing full well that whatever solution I'm giving him is definitely the best, like, in the planet. Like, there's no argument about it. It genuinely is. But I know at the same time, I'm in a competition right now. This is fucking war, right? And you need that kind of mindset. But I need that kind of mindset in any of the big hires. So what better way to already get someone with that kind of mindset? I don't know of a better way.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of what we do in terms of advertising, marketing, and hiring and all that kind of stuff is usually thought of as an outbound process. Where we will reach out to people and try and convince them to come and be a client or or work with us. And I think there's a creative way of being able to swing that around is to try and attract the right people. And so in your marketing, instead of phoning cold calling people, rather invite them to an event or do something like that. And then and in this case of hiring the right person, create a competition to say, these are the terms of the competition. This is the kind of, there's going to be an elimination process, a probationary period, and nothing's guaranteed. I mean, look, I still don't know the legalities around it, but I think there's something to that. Absolutely. And maybe we can adapt that kind of thinking into our businesses, especially maybe we're hiring for 3 or 4 positions, and we create a situation where we know that 5 of these people will fill 3 of these positions in a good way, create the ecosystem for them to come in and almost compete for it. And again, like that does separate the type of mindset that you want from the crowd, and that you can then start engaging with the right person in a meaningful way. Francois, what are your thoughts on this? Sorry to put you on the spot there, Francois. Eugene?
It's really you have to get out of your comfort zone to think about these things, and get some new people in, maybe young people, like you said, train them. It's it's just the time, that it's time consuming. So that's a little bit of a problem for me, especially I've got a new guy or young guy that phoned me the other day, and he's quite eager and wants to do everything, but I don't have the time now to do anything for him. I really love to, but just I don't have the time. So that is one thing. Maybe you can sort it, but you have to do it in advance. Say I'm like, my work is mostly seasonal, so maybe in a time that's not that busy as now, we can we can do that.
I hear you. JJ, go ahead.
So on that comment, if you take up, I don't know the circumstances, but if you take that guy with you and let him just shadow you, you're not making any commitment to him. He's learning the ropes while you're doing your thing. You're introducing him to the customers while you're doing your thing. It's not taking any more of your time. While you're driving between customers, then you can have your talks and those type of things. This is what I'm going to do. This is what we can plan. Look out for this. Look out for that. The other thing, from a time point of view, we've all committed to pretty much be here every Tuesday morning and spend the time. How did we manage to do that? It's a conscious decision, and we just literally have to put it in the diary and make it happen. Otherwise, we're not going to make it happen. So like I said earlier on, we need to get out of our own way and decide, what do we want to achieve, and let's hit it and let's do it.
And it actually is as easy as that, JJ. And I also just want to go against what Frans said earlier, is that, and this is where I was going to with my point, and I think Francois and I actually mentioned it when I saw you the other day. It's almost like we need to go back and micromanage ourselves for a full week and see exactly where we are, see exactly where we're spending every 15 minutes of our time. I know Frans would hate this, but if you can keep a time diary for a full week, in fact, hire someone to do that for you. So pay someone $5,000 to come and shadow you and write down exactly what you did every 15 minutes so every 4 slots in an hour for every day that you worked. And then you go back. You could probably actually just feed that into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to how to better optimize your time, or look at it yourself and say, okay, that 15 minutes didn't need to be there. That 15 minutes didn't need to be there. That one. And then let's see how you can then re-optimize your time and say, those 15 minutes that you didn't need to do, who can we give those to? Who can we ask someone else to do those things? Whether that's someone existing in the business or a new young person. And say, actually go and identify in black and white in front of your eyes to be able to see where you're not. I'm not saying wasting time. Some of us waste time. I think all of us do somewhere along the line. But sorry, just got distracted. Some of us are wasting time, but see where we can not waste time and re-optimize our time. And if we can then say, okay, well, there's an hour of every day that we don't need to be doing something else. That's the time that we then say, okay, in that hour, I'm going to do more of what's optimal and what makes us more, what moves the business forward more, or I'm going to do something new that is going to be that is going to move the needle in a big way. And that something new might be, Francois, training someone new or bringing that person in, and then again bringing them in bringing them in for that first for that hour a day and training that new person. Again, remember, that's the frequency that we're going to use right up front. The frequency that it will then change to less frequent over time, and then eventually you'll only have to monitor that person once a month. So
I think for me, the first hire that I ever did when I started my business, that was the most scary thing to do. And letting go, and it is difficult because we are so used to doing it, because we do what we do and we do it. We believe that no one else can do better than what we can. That's why we do what we do. So it's really difficult. But I think with what we're discussing now, the matriculants are getting ready to write final exams. So if we start reaching out to our friends and family and say, listen, this is what we're looking at. December is coming up, January is coming up, they've got holidays, some holiday work.
Yeah.
And, we don't have to pay a hell of a lot of money, so we don't have to be scared of that. But put it down to they are wanting to learn and make some holiday money.
Yeah. My last point for today is young people are great, but I also don't want us to forget there's old people out there that without a job, with lots of experience and lots of knowledge. And some of them have good attitudes as well. So, and I'm saying old people, but people that are supposed to be retired or have early retired or been forced out of their industry in some or other way, they're also a great wealth of experience and knowledge. I remember when I started in this business, there was an elderly couple in an old age home who were cold callers for financial advisors. They were like, you pay us 150 Rand per meeting that we book you. You give us a list of people and we'll phone for you. I said, that sounds like a fantastic idea. And that's two old people, still very much able to work a cell phone, be able to call 100 people a day or 200 people a day for you and to start doing that business. This is before I was in Pilot Insure, by the way. And that worked fantastically well for me. I mean, I only discovered them about 6 months into that 1 year journey, and obviously those next 6 months were the best months I had because of those calls. And that was an elderly couple in an old age home here in Pretoria. Outside the box. There's the box. Let's jump out. Final thoughts from everyone in the room. Eugene, tell us what you've learned today and what's something you liked.
I think the thing that stood out was the condensing or to do like the 6 month review, condense it into a one week review of where your time's going, what you're doing, where you want to be, and what are you doing to get there. And that for me was a big standout.
Nice.
Just taking stock of, are you on track to where you want to be?
Again, it's thinking about it, writing it down, making sense of it, and communicating it. Not even if it's just communicating it back to yourself. It's always a good idea to be able to fully understand that. Francois,
Gotcha.
From you?
Sorry, David. Yes, I think, maybe you just have a look, see how you spend your time, and then all the things that is not necessary for you to do, get somebody else to do it. That'll make you more effective.
Nice. JJ and Theo, before we go and make more money together today.
For me, it's always lucky to attend this and, see the communication that we have, and that sort of gives me energy for the next week. Puts me full of ideas of what we need to do, and so I think I like what I said myself is I need to go and speak to friends and family and let me see what youngsters are out there, and let's put them to the test.
You've got two of your very own, very capable young lads.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Theo.
So, first of all, I'm going to say I think I have to be scared for my job here after what Frans said.
He's kept me on that line the whole time. Don't worry. I'm also, every day I wake up shaking.
No, it's nightmares. It's nightmares out here. No, I just I think I realized also how much time I'm wasting in stuff that's not as necessary as other stuff that I can do to help me move forward also. Not just move Captain Circle forward, but move me as Theo forward, and what I can do and what I can't do, just for the future,
Love it.
Cool.
And it's even though you're 19 or 20 or 21 years old, I don't know exactly how old you are, but I mean, you've got lots of time ahead of you. But if you use more of that time or as much of that time optimally, there's nothing that can stop you. And that's a compounding thing as well. It's a lot like money. The more you put in now and the more efficient you make it now, the more it's going to compound for you later.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well now. Cool.
Nice.
Thanks,
Good
David.
one.
I appreciate it.
pleasure. All right, so we've been thinking and talking a little bit around business continuity. Just want to sum up that we've been looking at this S&Me 500, and that means investing in yourself before you go and invest in the market to be able to create yourself a good business and a good career and retire well. But I just want to start thinking about scionship, and that's exactly what we were talking about now, JJ, is finding someone young and eager and able to be able to come into the business. And who knows, one day that scion, which means young person, will be the person that takes over your business. And I think we're all getting to a place in our business where, you know, it's not you, Theo, but, you know, within the next 10 years, if we haven't got a plan of who's going to take over our business for us, we need to start thinking about that. You know what I mean? So we you know, in the next 10 years, it's going to be too late. We need to start thinking about it now. And then we're thinking about things like transfer of shares and how that works within your company, and whether it's through a trust or, you know, how that business is going to one day transfer to someone else. And I'm going to do a session on insurance, of how we make sure that that value of those shares isn't destroyed out of your estate, or out of everything that you've been building up until now, right? And then being able to fund that buyout, whether it's from your son or your daughter or whoever else that's going to take over your business. Now, how is that funding of that buyout going to happen? And then should something happen to you early, before that happens, there's a transition period that, you know, let's say you are disabled or pass away early, before you're able to think about this whole, you know, process that you've put in place to be able to transfer the business to someone else. This is basically a key person policy which funds the transition period if it has to happen now. You know, that says, let's hire someone, let's hire a CFO, let's hire this person, let's fund the business because we're losing clients for the next year or two, but still stabilizing the ship to be able to carry on as a business. That's what I mean by funding this transition, settling of all those debts. So I mean, there's and this is the combined effort that Rob and I were talking about last week, is like, invest in yourself, and whatever we can't invest in ourselves for, we insure. Okay, so just kind of getting that is contextualizing today's conversation. All right, and with that, gentlemen and Theo, we are done for today. Thank you very much for your time, and looking forward to seeing you all next week at the culinary table at Lanseria for the CEO breakfast. All right,
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
have a good one. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Cheers, bye, thanks.